5.
J5.
Johnny Five alive.
I was thinking about J5 from Blank Man. Hey guys, welcome to You Watch I Listen's Week 13 NFL picks. Took Thanksgiving week off, and the standings are crazy right now. Now, you guys don't know the standings yet. I do. I don't know if you guys have been keeping track at home.
I have not.
So, in week 11, Manfro had the best record. He won 11-4. Josh and I both went 9-6. This past week was maybe Manfro's worst week of the season, and it completely swung the standings. He's still in first place, but last week, Manfro, you went 6-9.
Ooh.
Josh, you went 9-6, and I went 11-4. Manfro was in first place at 110, 69, and 1. Josh is in second at 109, 70 and 1, and I'm in third at 108, 71 and 1. So
Jesus Christ.
It's crazy how close it was. And it was a matter of a couple. Manfro had a few really, really good weeks and then one really bad week. I had a couple bad weeks, a couple so weeks, and one really good week. And Josh, his consistency is that he is always having solid weeks, not bad weeks. So these next couple weeks are going to be really, really crazy. I'm super excited for it. But guys, how was your Thanksgiving?
Good.
Yeah, it's pretty solid.
Uneventful?
Yeah.
For the most part.
Yeah. So Josh, I know you're watching it. I don't think Manfro has any interest, but how deep into the Beatles documentary are you?
I've got through the first episode and half of the second episode.
I'm halfway through episode 2. I fucking love this thing. I'm so
It's
fucking
nice,
hooked
man.
up. It's unbelievable just to see the writing process, and that Let It Be is my favorite Beatles album. Actually, the one they released in 2003, the original recordings, Let It Be Naked. So
Yeah.
hearing and seeing the construction of these songs is really cool. Did you guys watch anything cool recently before we get into football?
Sam, so the other day, or this morning, I was looking to watch Biodome because I saw it was on Showtime. So I
Okay.
recorded it, and Sam's scrolling through the channels, and she goes, "Did you really record Biodome?" I was like, "Yeah, I have it on iTunes, but I need to record it so I can just watch it without having to open up my Apple TV to go on iTunes to watch." And she's like, "Oh, okay," and then changes the channel. I'm like, "What are you doing? I want to watch it." And she's like, "Nah, not while I'm home."
You need it on as many forms of media as possible, I guess.
Yeah.
So
But,
does she not like Biodome?
No, she does. I think she likes it, but I don't
It's
think
just
I've watched it with her.
That's actually like shocking to me that she hasn't watched it with you once.
Yeah, but we've watched like basketball a million times, and
Well,
Dude, Where's My Car?
Okay, well, one of those is a great movie. I'm not going to say which. Josh, did you watch anything recently?
I mean, outside of the Beatles thing, I watched the first
So
3
you're a
episodes
big
of Hawkeye, which it's pretty good as far as
Wait.
MCU stuff. It's upper echelon.
Okay, Hawkeye.
Yeah, it's pretty good action-wise. A pretty simple story, but I like Jeremy Renner in this kind of stuff. It's super reminiscent to like his stuff in Mission Impossible.
Yeah.
And I like Haley Steinfeld. Nice.
Yeah, she is very nice.
Is there a way to turn up everybody's volume in this?
Moving on. I don't know what your phone is like. I can hear everything just fine.
Because usually I hear you guys louder through my phone, but it's not that loud.
I don't know.
Okay, moving on.
Anyway, I did watch the Shang-Chi of the MCU. I fucking loved it. As far as those movies go, it was the one that felt the most like a disconnected from the grander MCU than any of the other ones, even though it is obviously part of it post Endgame, whatever. I thought it was great. It was like a classic Kung Fu movie in a lot of cases. Really cool. I watched the other night, and I actually did like it. Was the Kristen Stewart playing Princess Diana, this movie Spencer. She was great. She was as good a performance as I've seen this year. And usually those biopics can be like a little like mundane and boring. Like the same director did the Jackie Kennedy movie with Natalie Portman. She was great. Movie was boring. This was actually better than that. And Kristen Stewart was unbelievable. I didn't think she had those kind of acting chops, to be honest. But I watched that. And then one of my favorites I saw this year was Last Night in Soho with Anya Taylor-Joy and directed by Edgar Wright, who did Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, Baby Driver. Josh, you got to put aside time to watch this immediately. You are going to fucking love this movie. It
Boobs?
is. This is prostitutes.
Okay.
This is the girl from the Nazi movie.
Jojo Rabbit.
Jojo Rabbit.
Yeah, she's the main character. But it was, especially if you like Edgar Wright's style. Like, I love Baby Driver. Josh, you like Scott Pilgrim versus the World a lot. I think we all like Shaun
I
of the
just watched
Dead.
that the other day.
It's great. And this one was not what I was expecting at all. The last like 30 minutes of it are bonkers. So I strongly suggest that one. And no baseball season. So that's nice. I'm very proud of billionaires arguing with millionaires about money. It's really nice. Way to piss off a alienated fan base even more. Did you see so it came out right before the lockout that Manfred was literally telling the league to send different baseballs to different games, some of them juiced and some unjuiced, and not informing the players, not informing the unions. He literally said, let's send juice baseballs to like Yankees, Phillies, but not to Mariners, Royals. And they're wondering why there's a lockout.
So fucking stupid,
like
dude.
That the Field of Dreams game, there's no way you could ever convince me that those balls weren't juiced. The way it was flying.
The gills. It's fucking stupid. It was stupid the season that they had the juice balls first in play when the Yankees broke the single season home run record.
Yeah.
And all that bullshit. Because in the playoffs, the balls were so dead. The Yankees
Well, you know
weren't
what?
hitting the fucking ball out anymore.
If you're gonna do it, first off, tell the players, be like, listen, we're going to do 2 different baseballs, but we're not going to tell you where it's going so we can study the impact on the game. But to hide it is so bad. And then another game I think of when the Subway Series this year, those balls were so juiced. Guys were hitting bombs all over the field. It was fucking stupid. So I don't think we're going to get a full season. My best optimism is maybe 140, 130 games tops. It's going nowhere fast. So that's great. All right, guys, why don't we get into the picks, starting with our Thursday night game. The Dallas Cowboys, who are reeling, facing the New Orleans Saints, who are reeling. Both teams losing on Thanksgiving. It's the second year in a row that all 3 home teams lost on Thanksgiving, which is pretty crazy. I mean, you expect it from the Lions, but the Cowboys, as of this morning, were 5.5-point favorites. The Saints going back to Taysom Hill at quarterback, which is interesting because he's playing with a partially torn plantar fasciitis, which is worse than a fully torn plantar fasciitis. So, Manfred, you being in first place and Josh and I have to make up ground, you give the first pick.
I'm taking Dallas because I took the Saints last week like a fucking idiot, and they sucked.
They fucked you.
Dallas, I mean, they fucking kind of suck too, but I don't know. The Saints quarterback position isn't very good for the whole team, and Alvin Kamara being out again, that sucks.
Yeah, sure does. Josh.
Yeah, I'm taking the Cowboys as well. I just think that they're a little bit more of a complete team right now than the Saints are. They got a lot of questions on offense, especially, and I hate them, so I'm taking the Cowboys.
Yeah, I'm taking Dallas reluctantly here. Taysom Hill, I don't think he's this unbelievable quarterback, but he is a damn good football player. He's one of those guys that, like, even if he wasn't a quarterback, you find a spot for him on the field. I do worry about the foot. But the Cowboys, and
he's like Tim Tebow.
He's better than Tim Tebow ever was.
No way.
Yes way. He's still in the league.
No way.
But Dallas is dealing with some issues of their own. They got COVID. Mike McCarthy will not be coaching. The Cowboys coaching situation is so out there that Ben McAdoo will be going into the coaching booth to help out with this game. He's just been a consultant to the Cowboys. But your boy Dan Quinn calling the shots on the sideline for the Cowboys today.
McAdoo.
Well,
da
halftime with the lead, then
So when the Cowboys go up 28-3, that's when they'll probably lose.
Yeah.
I'm going to take the Cowboys too. The Cowboys are 5.5-point favorites, which is a pretty wild spread considering the up and down nature of the Cowboys this year. But I'm going to take the Cowboys reluctantly. I'm not touching the 5.5 though. All right, next game, Josh. This is your team, so you can go first. It is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers coming off the win over the Colts. Great game, taking on the Atlanta Falcons, coming off the win over the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Bucs are 11.5-point favorites over your Falcons. Josh?
Yep. Interesting game here for the suddenly second place Atlanta Falcons. I still have the utmost lack of confidence in the team. So they're going to lose pretty badly, most likely. But I do feel pretty confident that after this game, they'll retain their second place standing in the division because suddenly they're playing in a bad division. Who knew?
Yeah, that's true. Manfro?
I'm going to take the Tampa Bay Bucks.
Yeah, me
And
too.
that's all I got to say about that.
There's not much to say about that. The Falcons, it's not like they put a beating on the Jaguars. And the Jaguars have played competitive for the most part this year, but they're still terrible. Yeah, Bucks. I'm not wasting much time on that.
The one thing I'll say about the Falcons, just to add a little bit here, is that from a fan standpoint of the team, they're doing everything that you want to see a team that's rebuilding do. They're beating all the bad teams, and they're losing to the teams they're supposed to lose to.
Fair, totally fair. All right, this is a good game. Los Angeles Chargers coming off the loss of the Broncos because Justin Herbert cannot figure out the Broncos, taking on the Cincinnati Bengals, who put an absolute beating on the Pittsburgh Steelers. It was the largest victory the Bengals had over the Steelers since Boomer Esiason was the Bengals quarterback, 1987, or 88 rather. So the Bengals are 2.5-point favorites at home in this game. Manfro.
I'm taking the Bengals because I picked against them last week, and they were like, fuck you, dude.
Yeah,
fuck you hard. And,
when I saw the score in the first half, I was like, Manfro's so mad right now.
Yeah, Jamar Chase is like really fucking good, as much as I hate to say it. And like he has like great chemistry with Burrow. And I don't know, fucking every time I pick the Chargers to win, they don't show up. So
yeah, Josh.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Bengals here as well. I like what they're doing. It's just clicking together.
Nice.
Yeah,
I agree, Josh. It's a
That's
good look
great.
for you.
What are you talking about?
You froze.
Oh, okay.
You fucking Vernon Wi-Fi.
Bengals playing, I guess.
Bengals. Yeah, I wanted to take the Bengals, but I'm going to take the Chargers. They're very similar teams. Young quarterbacks, second-year quarterbacks, good offenses, good defenses. Not sure about the head coaches, and a very up and down nature where they look good one week and then they look bad the next week. The quarterback looks great one week, bad the next week. I have to take the Chargers here just because the Bengals coming off that kind of win over the division rival, heated, passionate. It's got all the makings of a letdown game, so I'm going to take the Chargers. I think Herbert has to bounce back. This is what's crazy about Justin Herbert. The stat blew my mind. He has one of the best arms in the league, right? Great offensive weapons. He can make all the throws. He is the fifth lowest air yards per attempt. And believe it or not, he's thrown less air yards than one noodle arm Tua. And he's got the 16th. He's 16th in the league in passing on passer rating 20 yards or more. That doesn't make any sense with his talent, what we saw from him his rookie year. So the coaching staff has to get that figured out. But with that said, I'm going to take them to beat the Bengals. All right, this game sucks. The Minnesota Vikings coming off the loss to the San Francisco 49ers, taking on the Detroit Lions of winless fame right now, though they do have a tie. If you don't win the whole season, does that, because a tie technically counts as half a win and half a loss. Do they go in there with the Browns that didn't win a single game and the Lions of 2008 that won a single game? Do you classify them in the same way?
Yeah, because I even say, like, I argue with my dad all the time, and I'm like, oh, it's a tie, and he's like, yeah, but they didn't win, and it's a tie. It counts as a tie. So a loss and a tie are not wins. I'm just gonna say that no, it's fucking they are defeated.
Yeah, I mean, for accounting purposes, like when it comes down to like if a team had a tie and was in playoff seeding, it counts as half a win and half a loss, and that can affect points here. But the truth of the matter is, with that tie, they would still tie the record for most losses in the season with 16.
Oh, yeah, because there's another game this year. All
right, so Vikings, Lions. The Vikings are 7.5-point favorites. Michael.
I'm going to take the Vikings because, I mean, they have Justin Jefferson and Thielen. That 1-2 is fucking awesome. And Kirk Cousins, with those two receivers, you have to be okay. And Kirk Cousins hasn't played bad this year at all. And I just don't see Detroit fucking doing anything crazy great to fucking overcome that.
Yeah, Josh.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Vikings as well. I picked the Lions a lot early on in the season when I thought they were kind of competitive. I'm not going to be doing that anymore.
I think the Lions have lost on field goals in like 4 or 5 losses this year. Something ridiculous. Yeah, you're right about Kirk Cousins. He's actually played pretty well this year, and on fantasy numbers, I think he's like the 5th best quarterback in the league, which again shows why fantasy is a farce for evaluating players. And I'm going to pick the Lions to get their first win of the season. And I'm going to keep picking them until they win because you guys are going to keep picking against them besides Josh because he's a dumbass like I am and thinking that they're going to do better. But I'm going to pick them specifically because I watched the highest paid quarterback in the league line up under the guard with the game on the line and causing his team a timeout against the 49ers. You're a professional quarterback. You are the highest paid quarterback in the league, and you lined up under the guard, costing your team a timeout. And in that moment, that cost everything. And realistically, the Vikings are going to win, but I got to make up ground. I think the Lions are going to catch a win this year, and it'll most likely be in the division, and it'll most likely be at home. So I'm going to shoot my shot. I'm going to keep picking them until next week when they probably lose this week.
I think they're going to get their first win against the shitbag Packers.
The shitbag Packers? What are you talking about? You guys are the fucking
kidding.
2 seed. Oh my God. Sensitive. All right, next game. The Indianapolis Colts coming off the really tough late loss to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, taking on the Houston Texans, who Manfro, I think, has picked more than even the Texans players have picked to win this year.
Did I pick them more than Philly?
I don't know. It's close, man. You were picking them saying Tyrod was going to carry them to win when Tyrod wasn't playing.
The spirit of Tyrod.
The Colts are 8.5-point favorites on the road. Manfro.
Colts. Colts
Josh?
gave that fucking game
Colts.
against the fucking Buccaneers. I think I picked the Colts last week to win against the Bucs, and they gave that fucking game away in the end with Nyheim Hines fucking muffed fumble and shit.
The fumble is what screwed them. And people got on head coach Frank Reich because he wasn't running the ball.
And they ran the ball and they were fucking doing good, and then they fucking threw it 3 downs in a row. I was losing my fucking mind.
I agree with that principle, but it's the best run defense in the league. And when they started passing it, I think they ran at one point 13 straight passes. They scored 21 points to open the second half. So there was something to it. But the Texans fucking stink. And now they got a mutiny going on with Justin Reed getting benched for reasons we still don't know. So, yeah, we're all taking the Colts. All right, next game. My team. The New York Football Giants taking on my Miami Dolphins in Miami. Dolphins winners of 4 in a row. Questions surrounding quarterback Daniel Jones going into this game, if he will start, of a neck injury. No one really knows the severity of it. The Dolphins coming off the drubbing of the Carolina Panthers. Not what I was expecting to happen. I obviously picked them, but I wasn't expecting to blow them out when the Panthers have a pretty good defense, and Tua had the best passing game against them any team has had all year. Yeah, I'm taking the Dolphins. It's the Giants look lifeless, and so this is one of my favorite Giants stats right now. Left tackle Andrew Thomas has more receiving touchdowns than highly paid free agent acquisition Kenny Galladay and first-round pick Kadarius Toney combined. That's impressive.
Well, when they fucking line up and they make him eligible, they should fucking just cover him. Big fat fuck.
Well, listen. Well, he only has one, and Galladay and Toney have none, which is crazy.
Gets his though. I mean, he gets yardage, and he's
hurt
a
again.
utility player.
He's hurt again.
He doesn't find the end zone, which the Giants don't find the end zone in the red zone. I think they're the worst red zone team in the whole fucking league.
Yeah, they are. And Toney can't stay on the field. He's electric when he's on the field. And they got Kenny Galladay, who his game is he's open even when he's not open. Because you put the ball up, and he's so good at going up and getting it.
Oh, he used to kill the Packers when he had Stafford throwing to him.
And instead, you got him trying to run slants and break away. That's not his game. As like with Plexico, when you had Plexico burst, you throw the ball up, and he finds it. And they're not running it like that. So Saquon is shot. I love Miami picking up Philip Lindsay. I actually really love that pickup. He had a great debut with Miami, and Miami's defense is playing out of their mind right now.
Oh, they got Philip Lindsay?
Yeah, they picked up Philip Lindsay. He had a great game for them in his first game against the Panthers.
I like that fucker.
They had their first round picks are showing up. Jalen Waddle since week 5 is the #1 receiver in the league, going off, and Tua's played really well. No doubt about it. He's played great recently. 2 straight games of over 80% completion percentage. Going to light the Giants up. Give me the Dolphins by a touchdown.
Dolphins.
Michael? Dolphins.
Taking Dolphins too.
Cool.
Fuck you, Josh.
Yeah, fuck you, Josh. All right, next game. Manfros, Philadelphia Eagles taking on the New York Jets. Somehow, even though the Jets beat the Texans, Zach Wilson still looked terrible. I don't know, man. I don't like giving up on young players, but the things you see have to be concerning. Like, do you remember in Sam Darnold's rookie year when he got hurt and he was struggling, came back after the injury, and he played really well down the stretch? You would think with young players that's what works, but I don't know if you saw the report, but they had to hire his personal quarterback coach, former Miami Dolphin John Beck, because they were so concerned about how bad his mechanics were, even in practice, that they had to get him right. That's a weird thing to do, and I don't know if it's because the coaching staff is young and they don't know how to figure him out and help him through adversity, but you have to be concerned at this point. The Eagles coming off a really embarrassing loss to the Giants where they basically coughed the game up with drops at the end there. But the Eagles are 6.5-point favorites at MetLife Stadium against the Jets. Manfro.
Richie texted me and he said, "You better pick the Jets." So I'm picking Philly. Those are my guys over there. They're still going to win the division. Don't ask me how. But Jalen Hurts is going to rip it up. Miles Sanders is back looking good. Boston Scott fucking trucking people, losing the ball in key times.
Jalen Reagor not catching anything.
No, that guy couldn't catch COVID or OBC Ron or
OBC Ron.
Whatever
it's called. Omicron.
Yeah,
Omicron. Yeah.
Richie just texted me and said, "Fuck you, too, Richie."
Because you picked the Eagles.
Yeah.
Richie's a little bitch of the highest order. You should go fucking take a flight with Roberto Clemente. Josh.
I'm taking the Eagles.
Yeah, me too. The Jets are terrible. They're terrible. It's whatever. Listen, it's too early to give up on a second round pick, but you have to be more concerned about him than you ever were with Darnold and you ever were with Mark Sanchez, and I don't think that's debatable right now. All right,
what the
next,
fuck? Richie just texted me. He said the Jets. Fuck you, Richie.
Yeah, the Jets. That's where Roberto Clemente couldn't land.
Richie, do me a favor. Richie, do me a favor. Put a comment in the comment section. Say hi to everybody.
I'm not looking at the comment section. Only you could see that.
I know, but I want him to say hi to the other viewers.
Taj Gibson just got ejected.
Josh Gibson?
Taj Gibson.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did. I'm watching the next game right now.
What did he get ejected for?
Because he got a blocking foul and he freaked out on the referee and he went like this to him. Nah.
Bing bong! Bing bong!
Bing bong!
Terrible. Next game. I can't believe the spread is this low, but it's an indictment of how the teams are playing lately. The Jacksonville Jaguars taking on the Los Angeles Rams. Rams having a terrible month in November. 0-3. 0-3 since getting Von Miller specifically, which is kind of crazy. And Stafford has thrown a pick six in 3 straight games. The Jaguars coming off the loss to the Falcons. The Rams are only 8.5-point favorites here. Manfro.
Taking the Rams. I mean, they played the Packers tough last week. And the Packers just, down the stretch, they were the better team.
It was 2 weeks ago.
That was 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, the Rams. Oh, no, it was this past week. What am I saying?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Fuck you.
They picked him off again. Pick 6.
Yeah, they picked 6 them, but like my dad even said, like that didn't look like Stafford.
He's hurt. He's playing with some elbow damage. He's got a chronic back issue, and it's just weird. Like, and I've said this about them since
his wife's throwing pretzels at people.
Yeah, true. She's got a pretzel on her brain. That's so mean.
They replaced my brain with pretzel.
Thank you, Matthew. Stafford, it's weird, man. Like, and it's not even just him. It's the Sean McVay coaching style. Like, you have Jalen Ramsey and Von Miller and Aaron Donald and all these pieces, and you were giving up 30 points a game. You're soft. SAWFT. Soft. Josh.
I was texting Richie, so I wasn't listening. Who are the teams?
Jaguars, Rams.
Oh, Rams.
Yeah. All right, next game. The Washington football team coming off the win over the Seattle Seahawks, taking on the Las Vegas Raiders. The Raiders coming off the win over the Cowboys. What a horrific game that was as far as penalties go. I think the Cowboys alone had like 170 yards of penalties, and the Raiders had like 130 of their own. Just horrible.
So I see that in hockey a lot, where the referee tries to dictate the pace of the game, and they'll call like every little fucking stick infraction. If you just get the stick up around the guy's hands, they'll call a penalty. But like in football, when they do it, it's so unbearable to fucking watch, especially on the Thanksgiving game.
Oh yeah, it kills the pace of the game.
There's no pace. Every fucking flow. Big play, everything that happens is getting called back, and the referees are trying to like get a spotlight, and it fucking pisses me.
You know what? You just made me thinking of weaving hockey into it. You know all the nobody cares about hockey boomer songs. There's a soundbite they play, and they played it today. They were talking about baseball, and then Boomer made it a hockey conversation, and it was like, wow, Boomer weaved hockey into the conversation.
Yep, I was listening to that.
That was actually, speaking of WFAN, I just read that they fired Moose and Maggie.
Hell yeah.
I like Moose and Maggie. They didn't fire them. They're being replaced by Tiki Barber and Brandon Tierney, which is actually
on ESPN, right?
No, they were on CBS Sports Network. They were on TV. They're a really good show too. But I got love for Moose and Maggie, man. I
like them. Like some people that I talk to that listen to the fan, they're like, I can't fucking stand them. I never had a problem with them. I mean, they're just filler. I think they were on a little too long, honestly.
They're good. Well, yeah, they are on too long. Midday should be about 3 hours. They're on from 10 to 2. It should be 10 to 1. They're good midday talks because midday is kind of supposed to be a little vanilla. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's supposed to be like easy listening. But yeah, Washington football team, Las Vegas Raiders. Raiders 2.5-point favorites. Manfro.
I'm going to take the Raiders on this one. Henry Ruggs is going to have a breakout game.
Yeah, dude, I don't know. His season is crash and burned.
John Gruden's going to coach a hell of a fucking game.
Yeah, he's going to get behind Carl Nassib.
And no one's going to murder anybody this week.
Was there a murder in the NFL recently?
I think somebody got in trouble on the Raiders like the same week as the crash and burn, either for rape or murder. No,
he was posting videos. He was a first-round pick in 2020. He was posting videos with a gun in his hand, telling people to come meet him, and they'll get clapped up, and they cut him. So things are going well in Las Vegas. Josh, football team, Raiders.
I'm going to take the Raiders as well.
Playing it safe, Josh. I like it.
That's what I do.
I got to think about this. Oh, my God. I don't have enough upset. I'm taking Washington. I like the way they're playing defense. I like the way they're playing offense. I don't like the Raiders. They're due after coming off a win to lose, even though it's a long rest and the football team has short rest. Give me the football team.
I need to make up from Antonio Gibson this week. Big game.
Let's go. All right, next game. The San Francisco 49ers taking on the Seattle Seahawks. 49ers coming off the win over the Minnesota Vikings. The Seahawks coming off the loss to the Washington football team. The 49ers are 2.5-point favorites on the road. Manfro.
Taking the Niners, baby. I got a big fantasy loss this week with the injury of Debo. But
that you do.
What's that?
That you do. He's out for at least 2 weeks.
Yeah, I mean I knew right away as soon as they ran that fucking pop out. I was like, that sucks.
Yep, done.
And the 49ers are just good. Seahawks are terrible. There's no way that Kittle doesn't find the end zone twice against them. All
right, Josh.
I'm taking the 49ers as well. The Seahawks just are lost offensively.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Seahawks. My logic here is pretty simple. Division game on the road. There's no way that they can be this bad offensively for this long. The bounce back has to come. Even if it's only for one game, it'll be a divisional game. This would be when it is. You can't give DK Metcalf his first target in the fourth quarter. That is ridiculous. And you could tell Russ isn't entirely healthy. He'll get there. He'll get right against the 49ers. But this is the end of Russell Wilson and Pete Carroll.
Can I change all my picks to Dan's picks so that I stay ahead of him, but then Josh has a chance to bounce up?
So you want Josh to win to make sure I don't win? Okay, I got it. All right, next game. The Baltimore Ravens coming off a win, a really terrible game against the Pittsburgh Steelers, coming off a drubbing to the Bengals. The Baltimore Ravens became the first team in the last 54 tries to win a game despite the quarterback throwing 4 interceptions, which meant the Browns were the first team to lose that kind of game. I can't believe this spread considering how bad the Steelers have looked, but the Ravens haven't been really lighting it up. The Ravens are only 3.5-point favorites on the road. Manfro taking the Steelers.
No, taking the Ravens. I liked the press conference from Lamar Jackson. I think it was yesterday, the day before, when he was like, "Listen, I had bad reads, I made bad throws, I forced into double coverage," and he was just open and honest. He said I was playing like a rookie, made a lot of rookie mistakes, and it's 100% on me. He took that L like with refreshing honesty,
like a
you
leader.
Know what I mean? It was just like, all right. So now we see what he does. He's probably going to rush for a fucking 130 and have like 300 in the air.
Yeah.
So I think that the Ravens come out on top in this one.
Josh?
I'm taking the Ravens as well, mostly picking them off of the Steelers' performance last week, which, I texted you guys. It kind of hurts me a little bit because Ben's one of those guys that's been around for so long, and
he's kind of like Matt Ryan.
Shut up.
No, he's got Super Bowl rings.
Fuck you,
Yeah, true.
asshole.
Aaron Rodgers still looks good, though, for those old-timer quarterbacks.
Also, yeah, he does. But Ben is even older than them. Like, when you think about it.
Yeah.
Like,
well, I mean,
where he was
Aaron Rodgers drafted the year after and then sat for 3 years, right?
Yeah, so 04 was the draft with Eli, Rivers, and Ben being the third taken. It's weird. They all have very different careers. As far as, like, pure passers go, I think Rivers was the best of them. Like, pure quarterbacks, I think Eli was the most clutch, like durable clutch, and Ben was the best of both worlds, really. Like, he was a really good pocket passer, but he could bounce around. Ben is one of my favorite quarterbacks to ever watch play. The way he just bounced off guys and was able to sling it downfield.
I love it, like how every game since Ben's been in the league, just hobbles around.
Gio always talks
receivers.
So Greg Giannotti always talks about from when he worked out in Pittsburgh that Ben, whatever injury he has, it's like there's a chance that like the leg might get amputated. He's like, Ben's dealing with some turf toe, and Ben will be like, yeah, it's painful. Might have to cut off a toe or two. Every injury Ben has is like the end of the world, but he's almost always there until he's actually hurt. But yeah, I'm taking the Ravens too. It's tough in these games because even when both teams are great, they could split. And when both teams are bad, they could split. So this looks like it's the first bad Tomlin team. So I'm taking the Ravens. All right, next game. The Denver Broncos played really well right now, coming off the win over the Chargers, taking on the Kansas City Chiefs coming off of their bye week. Now, this is what's a crazy Andy Reid stat. In his career as a head coach, I believe the number is Andy Reid is 18-3 coming out of a bye week. And the Broncos have struggled mightily against the Andy Reid coached Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs are 9.5-point favorites at home. Manfro.
Patrick Mahomes ruined my fantasy season this year.
You ruined your fantasy season by taking him in the first round.
But it doesn't matter. If I took him in the fourth or the third or the second, he fucked me over bad.
Okay, where did you pick him in the first round?
I think fourth or second or third, maybe.
So you're not telling me that you could have taken someone else, and taken him in the fourth round, and it still would have fucked you? No, not how it works.
Yes,
you could have taken Devontae Adams, dude.
I could have, but
Aaron Rodgers.
I have a strict thing where I get the best at that position, and I always want the best quarterback. And last year he had the most fantasy points. This year, he's a fucking shit wad, but he's going to have 49 this week. So,
okay. So you're taking the Chiefs. Josh?
Yes.
I'm taking the Chiefs as well.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Chiefs too. Broncos can't handle them. And it's crazy because, some Broncos fans have just been shitting on the Chiefs defense all season. And quietly, I think since week 7, they have the number 4 defense in the league.
They got all the pieces there. It's just they're having mental lapses.
Chemistry, yeah. All right, Monday night game, AFC East battle. The first place New England Patriots taking on the Buffalo Bills. The Patriots coming off another win over the Tennessee Titans in a game that was very close. And the Bills coming off the Thanksgiving massive victory over the New Orleans Saints. The Bills are 3.5-point favorites at home. Manfro.
I'm taking the Patriots. Not because I think that they're a great team. They're like miles ahead of them. I just think that it's going to live or die by the way Josh Allen's slinging it. And he proved that he can fucking sling it with the best of them. But I don't know. I have a feeling that New England's just going to have a good game plan. They're going to play solid, and they're just going to play football. They're not going to be trying to do all the razzle-dazzle bullshit.
Yeah. Okay, Josh?
Yeah, this is kind of like a marquee game, right? It's like are the Bills really the class of the AFC East, or has Belichick figured it out? I think Belichick's figured it out. I got to take the Patriots.
All right. Okay, so
what's better for you? What's better for the Dolphins?
What's better for the Dolphins? The Dolphins have to hope for a wild card, and which is crazy. The NFL is so weird this year because I don't think there is a single great team right now. There's some really good teams, and the rest are middling or bad. So when you look at the Patriots, they beat basically Ryan Tannehill and the Titans. They beat the Falcons recently. They're on a 6-game winning streak. They beat the Browns. They beat the Panthers. Who else did they beat? And they're in this winning streak. The Chargers. Which of those teams do you look at as like a serious threat come the playoffs? Chargers, maybe?
I don't.
Okay. The Bills have definitely played lower standards. They lost to the Jaguars, which is unacceptable. This is more of a test for the Patriots, a young Patriots team, which is getting great play from the rookie quarterback, Matt Jones, which is getting great cornerback play from J.C. Jackson. But the Bills did something this past week that they hadn't done well all season. That was run the ball against a good Saints run defense, specifically running it to the outside, hitting the edges. I think the Bills win, and I think they make a statement here with at least a touchdown victory. So I'm taking the Buffalo Bills. With that said, I would rather watch Bill Belichick win another 3 Super Bowls in a row than watch the Bills win one. Dead serious.
Is that because you're just desensitized to it at this point, or?
It's a desensitization. Yeah, I respect Belichick as a coach. He's the best coach. Oh, my headphone fell out. He's the best head coach there's ever been. Like, it's not even debatable. The Bills aren't even the best team in New York, and they're the only team in New York.
Yeah. Well,
I fucking hate them. Like, again, I will say it over and over again. They are more known for losing than anything else, and their fans having nothing better to do to get drunk and jump through tables. It was funny the first 200 times. They're on time number 8,000. We get it. You have nothing to do. Go eat some wings, take all the meat off, and then shove them up your ass. Your team stinks. Your city stinks. You're more like Canada than America, you fucking assholes.
Yeah, that's true. But, like, it's just like when Tampa Bay wins. Like, I'd rather see Tampa Bay win the Stanley Cup 10 times in a row than see, like, a division rival win the fucking...
Like, you've had to see the Devils win, what, 3 cups?
Yeah. Like...
And you've gotten to see the Rangers win how many?
Like, anybody else but them. But then, like, when Pittsburgh was winning a lot, I fucking hate Pittsburgh. But I'd rather see Crosby win a cup than fucking Ovechkin. And then Ovechkin got his cup, and then I was pissed off.
Because the Queen doesn't have a single cup, and now he's got a bad ticker.
Well, no,
Man,
he's playing his guitar on TNT now. He's fine.
Manfro, I got a question for you. This was posed to me at work the other day, and I had to think about it longer than I feel like I should have had to think about it. If you had to pick between the Red Sox and the Mets to win a World Series, who would you pick?
The Mets.
I'll tell you, Manfro, when the Mets had their run in 2015 to the World Series, I don't think he was outright rooting for him, but he's like, oh, this is kind of cool.
Yeah, no, it's okay. Like, my grandmother was a huge Mets fan before she croaked. And, like, you know, a part of me would like to see him win, but she's not alive to see it. So, like, whatever. But a small, little, tiny part of me. My first baseball game ever was a Mets game, and then I became a Yankees fan. So
yeah, dude, I wish it happened to me. All right, guys, let's wrap this up and go watch this Thursday night game. Cowboys, Saints. I'm praying for Justin Grahowski tonight because I don't know if he can watch another loss. He doesn't answer me after they lose most of the time, and I'm like, sorry, Justin. So, all right, guys, big surprise coming up soon. We're going to do a holiday podcast in person in the studio. I need to get some Christmas lights, decorate that son bitch, and we'll figure out a date. And then next week we got a UFC we got to talk about. So we'll figure something out for that. Dustin Poirier and Charles Oliveira, dude.
It's gonna be fucking wild. That's a stacked card too.
Sick card. All right, guys. We'll see you next week. Peace.